Gender, Society, and Human Rights, Andrea Candela Rangel. As a student, before my first day of school, I arrived at class somewhat confused, as I had no expectation about what the course will deal with. At the beginning of the class, I understood what it would be about. I was quite excited to have a teacher so prepared to pass her knowledge in human rights and feminist topics, for which I had proclaimed in favor. However, I had confused ideas about what the feminist movement was really looking for. I came believing that inclusive language has no sense, that it had no purpose in being included in our society, and even I came to share this opinion with other people. Similarly, although I understood the difference in opportunities only by sex, race, religion, social class, sexual preference, among others, I never understood how far this discrimination reached. I normalized machismo, and I can never say it in a not proud way that I was part of it, speaking badly on women and having prejudice about what we should or shouldn't do. In the same way that I did not understand that machismo affects us all as a society. After having more than a half of the course, I understood what feminism was, the strength that the movement has, and what it really seeks. I understood that this is very diversified and that there are different currents. This has influenced me in many ways, as now the movement has a big impact on my life. I get involved and learn more about what is going on, just as I recognize that I value, respect, defend, and identify even more with each woman. I applaud their achievements in this mature world, and I share the fury of the inequalities that are lived day by day for the simple fact of being a woman. I think this is one of the greatest learnings. Since we are socially marked by the competition between us, exclusion, poverty, racism, discrimination, as Marcela Lagarde says in their book El Feminismo y vida, this is why it's still necessary to break with this scheme and support each other, but among women. While classes passes, I could see that I was developing more critical thinking. I became more analytical in the way I act and think. I changed my view of the world and the social movement, this with the help of Dr. Diana, of the activities carried out, of some great authors seen as Bell Hooks, who defines that feminism is for everyone and that this is a movement to end sexism, sexist exploitation, and oppression. In her book, Feminism is for Everyone, I could understand that feminism is not only seeks gender equality or change the system so that women have more rights, but transform the system to end patriarchy. Similarly, I can understand that this is for everyone, regardless of social class, race, or gender, because of the fact that power feminists cannot exist if there is exploitation and oppression of other people. This is as the social science professor said. Octavio Daniel. The title feminism is not necessary to validate men's support for the movement. Men must question and destruct themselves and the society in which they lived and fight for change without need to label themselves as feminist. I understood that machismo is not only something that affects women, but also men, since from before birth there are prejudices that are attached to us only by the fact of being a man or a woman, as they are the colors with which we have to identify, the toy we have to like, so that we can be good and so that we don't, inclusive as we can express our feelings. Since it is not socially accepted that a man is in a state of sentimental weakness. I identify between method and technique from a feminist approach and how it generates a benefit for society and science with the book Is There is a Feminist Research Method? Sandra Harding concludes that it's not possible to speak of typically feminist methods, but it is the recognition of certain characteristics that distinguish feminist science from traditional research. In the same way, I understood the impact of inclusive language with the book El Manual de Comunicación No Sexista from Guichard Bello. Since women are portrayed negatively and generalized through the language based on men and a stereotype
As a student,
of
I
women.
am awake of the gender's perspective, social issues, and the need to preserve human rights, but also of the changes we face as a society. Although we have evolved a lot as a society, we need to respect and be more tolerant. Before trying to change the above mentioned issues, we have to do an introspection in order to become awake of our actions and be ready to face them. In this way, we can identify the real problem that feminists want to address sexism. So, society has caused women and men to perseverate sexist behaviors that affect both